Hey, hockey fans, welcome to TSN's YouTube channel as we continue to give you all the latest news and details and analysis going into all the NHL playoff action. Let's go right to Edmonton and bring in Ryan Rishaug and Pierre LeBrun as the Oilers get set to face the Kings in game number 2 of their series after really, guys, demolishing the LA Kings in game 1. It's always nice to see what a team could do to adjust. But in fairness, given what the Edmonton Oilers were able to do with their speed through the neutral zone, Ryan, is there anything that Kings could do to try to slow down this high-flying Oilers offense?
I've got one significant suggestion, Gino. Don't take bad penalties. Don't let Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Leon Draisaitl and Evan Bouchard all on the ice together when you're only allowed 4 players against them because they're going to chew you up, and that's what happened in game 1. There are a certain number of things, Pierre, that are within the Kings' control to make better for game 2, and that has to be right at the very top of the list. You cannot take bad penalties against them. They know it. They've been talking about it for 2 games. Now it's about going out tonight and doing it. If you're going to take a penalty against Connor McDavid, have it be something that takes away a scoring chance. You can't waste them like they were wasting them.
Yeah, but to Gino's point, it wasn't just special teams. 5-on-5, the Oilers were cruising through the neutral zone like no one was there. And that's not LA Kings hockey, as we know. They're supposed to suffocate you. They make the kind of decisions that make the team with the puck decide whether or not they're going to dump it in, which the Oilers frankly hate to do. They didn't really have to that much in game 1. They skated right through it.
On that note, did you hear it was probably a month ago when the Oilers were playing LA? I asked Leon Draisaitl, he was talking about dumping the puck in all the time. I said, do you die a little bit inside every time you have to dump the puck in? He said, yeah, I do. But against the Kings, they know they need to do it. So I had to throw that in because it was.
But they didn't have to that much in game 1. That's what I'm saying. It was, when you're in the rink, of course, you can see the whole play develop. And it was shocking to see how easily, I can't believe I'm saying these words, but how easily the Oilers carried the puck through the neutral zone against what's supposed to be one of the toughest defense systems in the league to get through in the neutral zone, the LA Kings. That was not the case in game 1. They had a huge video session on the off day, and that's what the Kings want to correct hitting into tonight, suffocating the Oilers coming out of their zone.
Good luck with that move. I mean, you mentioned Leon Draisaitl. I want to follow up on that. Sometimes certain players just have other players, other teams, and they just completely dominate them. Draisaitl's got 13 goals in his last 14 playoff games against the LA Kings. He had a goal and assist, 2 points in the opener in this series. It's funny, guys, because he's almost overshadowed. Connor McDavid gets the 5 assists. Zach Hyman gets the hat trick. Yet Leon, it's kind of like pick your poison. Does the balance of this incredible Oilers offense create a situation, not just the speed, but the balance, Ryan, that makes it that much more difficult for the LA Kings to do anything about it?
Hugely problematic. And on that note about Draisaitl's night, you said you got Hyman with the hat trick and McDavid with his 5 assists, Bouchard with his 4. We could have done nothing but talk only about that shot that Leon Draisaitl buried up. That was an unbelievable. We could have easily just talked about that all night and after the game. That's how high skill that is. But Pierre, that's how high skill this team is. Somebody makes a play like that, and it ends up being an afterthought. So it's a huge problem skill-wise for the LA Kings. They got a couple of D pairs that do their best to handle this. Drew Doughty is equipped to do it, but they're having all kinds of trouble with it, Pierre.
And I think Leon Draisaitl's playoff performances have been under the radar outside of this market. They know here in Oil Nation what he's about, but I think so much about Evgeny Malkin playing in the shadow of Sidney Crosby for so many years, and Evgeny Malkin has been a great playoff performer. Leon Draisaitl from day one has been a playoff monster. I think back to his performance in 2017. I think he had 15 points in a series. Like, he has always delivered. He has been clutch in the playoffs from day one. There's never been a narrative or a story about, boy, is Leon Draisaitl going to show up tonight in the playoffs? He has from the moment he has hit the ice come playoff time for this team. And honestly, I don't think he gets talked about enough. There's
a lot of talk, Gino, about kind of the 1-2 punch, right? The Oilers with McDavid and Draisaitl, the offensive punch, and the Kings with Deno and Kopitar. It's sort of like point counterpoint. I'm just going to say it. Those players are having a hard time keeping up with McDavid and Draisaitl right now. They just are. And you know, Kopitar was asked today. He and Draisaitl actually played together for Team Europe there a number of years ago, and he said
26-team World Cup.
Yeah, and he was asked about his memories of Draisaitl. He said, he was 19. We had just met. I asked him to come for a beer after the game, and he said, "I'm not allowed. I'm only 19." So that was his memory of Leon Draisaitl. But Draisaitl asked about Kopitar, says, yeah, I feel like I know him pretty well. We played a lot of games against him, but it's a matchup that the Oilers, I think, naturally are going to get the better of because those players are both, I mean, they're both skaters, Draisaitl and McDavid.
And that's what makes your head spin if you're the LA Kings coaching staff. Yeah. What team in the league on paper should be better suited to try and match up against McDavid and Draisaitl defensively than a team that has a former Selke Trophy winner, Nancy Kopitar, and one of the league's best defensive players in Philip Deneau? I mean, honestly, this team is made for this matchup, except every year it's not been good enough against the Edmonton Oilers.
Ryan, I saw you had a conversation today with Draisaitl. I was watching because you posted it on Twitter. I thought it was a great conversation. One comment in particular struck me, and that was his comment about Corey Perry. We talked about the Edmonton Oilers going into the season, the way they needed to bolster their D, get better goaltending, and Skinner obviously has done that. I loved what Draisaitl had to say about Corey Perry, who's really won at every level. Olympic gold, Stanley Cup, World Championship, World Junior. Share your conversation with Draisaitl about Corey Perry.
Yeah, well, keep in mind that the one thing that this Oiler team has not had, did not have last year, was any Stanley Cup pedigree, right? Duncan Keith, they went and got him for that reason, and then Keith wasn't here last year. And so they bring in this Stanley Cup pedigree, and I was asking Leon Draisaitl about Corey Perry's kind of understanding of moments in the game, right? Understanding when it's time to go piss somebody off, when it's time to get in the ref's ear, when it's time to dump the puck in instead of stick handling, even when to go find a fight. And Draisaitl said that Corey Perry has the best game management he's ever seen. That's high praise, but that is the reason that Corey Perry is here. And Gino, having covered Perry every single game, this isn't just, a big play in overtime. This isn't just, the game's tied and you need something big and Corey Perry. I'm talking about Oilers have been down 3-1 and are playing like garbage in game 67, and Corey Perry goes out and gets into a scrap with someone because he knows that's what his team needs. I'm talking about conversations on the bench. It's not just the big moments. It's all moments.
I will say this, just to counter your point about his Stanley Cup ring pedigree. That was 17 years ago when he won his cup in Anaheim, and I'm taking nothing away from that.
He still got it.
Hold on, let me finish, Ryan.
But he's a winner on every level, Pierre.
What I'm getting at is that I actually think it's there's another layer to this, is why that Corey Perry has a lot to add to this team, is that he might be just as hungry as anyone in that roster to win again, because he went to those 3 straight Cup finals, right, with Dallas, Montreal, and Tampa, and he lost all 3. It's been 17 years. He was really young when he won, and I've talked to young players who have won a Cup, and they're like, I don't know if I appreciate it as much now that I'm a veteran player. He wants another ring as much as anyone in that Oilers room, is my point.
Yeah, I would agree. Once a Cup winner, always a Cup winner. Gino, once a Gemini Award winner, always a Gemini Award winner, Gino.
Guys, I want to ask you about Cam Talbot. Listen, I feel badly for this guy because he just doesn't have the support he's got. Drew Doughty, everybody tried to defend Talbot, saying it wasn't Talbot's fault. He gave up 6 on 44. But at the end of the day, it's just a deluge of offense continuing to come at him. And it's kind of a unique situation for Talbot to be in that building, to be facing the team that he's facing right now. Have you had a chance to talk to him at all to get a sense of where his mind's at right now going into tonight's game?
Yeah, we chatted with him yesterday, Gino, and he was in a great place. You can tell when a goalie's rattled and the words are coming out, but the body language doesn't match it. No, he's been through a lot of these series. He's seen a lot. We actually talked about the fact that goalies have gotten used to bouncing around teams, the goalie carousel. So he's got.
You said to him, "You've been in a lot of different places." Well, and he goes, to say the least.
Yeah, and so I think he's got the moxie to wake up the next day and see that the sun came up, and Game 2 is a different game. So from that perspective, I'm not worried for Cam Talbot or the Kings. It's just that I think Drew Doughty's right. I mean, this isn't just about goaltending in Game 1. For goodness sake, the number of grade A's. I mean, the Oilers could have pumped 10 on the LA Kings in Game 1. Let's be honest. I mean, they actually missed other great chances. So it would be a lazy take just to look at Cam Talbot and say he's the reason they lost Game 1.
And the Oilers, look, you're going to have great goaltending to beat the Oilers. That's just what's going to be required. And Cam Talbot understands that. He's a pro. He's been in these situations before. He's very calm. He's well-spoken. He's going to do everything he needs to do, Gino, to put himself in that position. But bottom line, he's got to make the saves, and he's probably going to have to make some that he shouldn't have to make, but that's what it's going to take to beat this offensive team that the Edmonton Oilers are.
Well, they've got their hands full. Guys, this is a lot of fun. I love these daily check-ins with you guys because we get our ear inside that room to find out what's being said. Good luck to the LA Kings tonight, who certainly got their hands full. Pierre, LeBrun, and Ryan Rishaug in Edmonton, where the Oilers are getting set to face the Kings in Game 2 tonight.